Overtime. The playoffs. Your entire season is on the line. All that work comes down to just a handful of plays, a few heart-pounding seconds. But what happens when the game is decided not just by the players, but by how someone interprets the rulebook under the brightest lights?
That right there, that's the sound of a season coming to a screeching halt. That's the frustration from Bills coach Sean McDermott after a brutal overtime loss. And you know what? His confusion was shared by millions of us watching at home, all asking the same thing.
Okay, so let's really get into this. The whole game, the shot at the AFC title game, it all swung on 3 specific calls in overtime. We're talking 1 super controversial interception and 2 penalties that absolutely changed the outcome. We're gonna break them all down.
So first, you gotta picture the scene. It's a tied game, next score wins. The pressure is just off the charts. Every single play, every decision feels massive. This is exactly where legends are made, and yeah, where huge controversies are born.
It all kicks off with the Bills on offense, trying to drive for that game-winning score. And it begins with a play that, at first glance, looks pretty simple. But trust me, it quickly unravels into this complex puzzle about what a catch even means in the NFL.
All right, it's 3rd and 11. Josh Allen just launches a deep ball downfield to Brandin Cooks. Cooks goes up, he high points the football, a beautiful play. And for a split second, it looks like a massive gain for Buffalo. But when he hits the ground, wait, what? The ball is suddenly in the hands of the Broncos defender, Ja'Quan McMillian. Total chaos. Nobody knows what just happened.
And the call on the field? Interception. A massive, massive momentum swing. The Bills' drive is over, just like that. And now the Broncos have the ball with the chance to win the whole thing. But was it the right call? This brings us to one of the most debated questions in all of sports. What is a catch? I mean, it seems so basic, right? You catch the ball. But the official NFL rule is this surprisingly specific, multi-step process that people have been arguing about for years. Okay, so let's actually look at the rulebook. It's a 3-step process. Step 1, get control of the ball. Looks like Cooks did that. Step 2, get both feet in bounds. Yep, check. But then you get to step 3, the infamous football act. You know, tucking the ball away, taking a step, turning upfield. That's where it all gets tricky.
So here's the critical detail. The officials decided that the ball moved from Cook's control to McMillian's as he was hitting the ground. And because he hadn't made that football act yet, the rulebook says he never actually completed the catch. Since the ball never touched the ground, it was live, and McMillian's control makes it an interception. It's a brutal way to lose possession, but by the letter of the law, it was the right call.
But oh, the drama was not over. Not by a long shot. Now, the Broncos have the ball, and they start their own drive to win the game. And their progress, well, it was helped along massively by a flurry of yellow flags against one single Bills defender.
47 yards. Just think about that. That's how much the game shifted on 2 flags against 1 player. In a sudden death overtime period, that's practically the whole game right there.
Both penalties were for defensive pass interference, and they were both called on veteran cornerback Tre'Davious White. These 2 calls would march the Broncos deep into Bills territory, basically putting them on the doorstep for an easy, game-ending kick.
Let's go back to the rulebook. The key phrase here, the one that causes endless arguments every single Sunday, is significantly hinders. It's not just about any contact. It has to be enough to actually prevent the receiver from having a fair shot at the football.
And that right there is the million-dollar question, isn't it? When does contact become significant? What one referee sees as a clear penalty, another might just see as good physical football. This is where a game of inches comes down to a single person's judgment call in a split second.
Now, these 2 penalties are a perfect example of the dilemma. On the first one, the replay shows White briefly grabs the receiver's arm. It's kind of ticky-tack, you know? A real borderline call that you could argue either way. But then, just a couple of plays later, the second call is, well, it's way more obvious. White grabs the receiver's torso and is pretty much tackling him before the ball even gets there. That one is going to be a flag almost every single time.
And if you're a Bills fan, this timeline is just a total gut punch. That first questionable penalty moves the Broncos up 17 yards. The second, more blatant one, gives them another 30. And just like that, Denver goes from midfield to inside the Bills' 10-yard line without completing a single pass. From there, it's a chip shot field goal, game over.
So when that final whistle finally blew, it just left this complicated feeling. You had one call that was tough but technically correct based on a really complex rule, and then you had 2 other judgment calls. One highly debatable, one pretty obvious, that directly set up the winning score.
So, what do we take away from all this? Well, first, a catch isn't as simple as it looks. It's a strict three-part definition, and that third football act step changes everything. And second, pass interference is always going to be controversial because it all hinges on that one subjective word, significant. It's just a reminder that even in this world of super slow motion replay, the game can still be decided by a split-second human judgment.
And that really leaves us with a big question. In a sport that's chaotic and lightning fast, we demand perfection from the athletes. But is it really fair to demand that same level of perfection from the officials interpreting these incredibly complex rules in real time? Something to think about the next time you see a flag fly.